Hello, how are you? This is Els coming from Bemis Crafty Corner, and I have a project for us today. You know, I have a lot of these, and I have some that I keep on my desk because I use them all the time, and I put them in these little things, you know, just so that they're always handy, but you always see me knocking them over, and I chase them around, and then, you know, I have like little brushes like this and stuff, and so I decided I'm going to make something for all of this that will fit on my desk right there, and that I can use to, you know, organize stuff. So I have, this is a ribbon holder, you know, I took the ends off of it, and that's what all these are. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It just happens to be what fits on mine. So I'm going to do a couple of things. One, I need to put a base on this. So I have out my little circle cutter here, and you use whatever kind of circle cutter you want. And what I did is I just kind of mocked this up, you know, and set it up on my board to get an idea how big of a circle I needed to cut. And this one is appropriate. And I'm going to cut 2 of these so that, you know, I have double thickness. So this is 110 pound cardstock, so it's really heavy cardstock to begin with. And I want to make sure that I have, you know, have it thick enough. I could cut this out of chipboard. Hold on, I moved it. Make sure I get it lined up. Alright, so I got 2 of these cut out, and I'm going to glue them together. Let me get this out of the way because I've already cut myself on that like 10 times. Get this out of the way. Put that back in the box. Alright. So now I have my 2 circles, which I'm going to glue together. And then I'm going to put some clips on them to hold them all there where I want them. And then I'm going to get started on the other pieces, okay? So I have my hot glue gun heating up because we're going to be using that today. I'm going to be using that today. You can use any kind of adhesive you want. I think the hot glue is just going to be faster for me. So I'm going to be using hot glue. So I have glue on my circle, and I'm going to put the other one on top. I'm going to make sure that they're nice and lined up, and I'm just going to throw a couple of clamps around the edge here just to hold it all together while it sets. And then I'm going to set that off to the side, and I'm going to bring these over. I'm going to be painting these, okay? So like this one here, this, I pulled the paper off, you know, the paper off the end of the spool, so I have a little bit of smudge here, and you can use an emery board or a piece of, you know, filing paper, sanding paper, and just take that off so that it's not showing. And it comes off pretty easy. And then I'm just going to, I'm going to put some gesso on these as a base. And then I'm going to add a couple of coats of paint. Okay? So, let me just... Now these ones are all pretty clean, so I'm not worried about them. And the inside's not a big deal because that's going to be inside. So now that I have that all cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and get out a piece of paper, or, I'm going to get out my painting surface to protect my workspace. And I'm going to go ahead and get some brushes and a palette out. I'm going to do some painting. After I get some gesso on here, I'll be right back. All right. So steps 2 here is to put on a base coat. Now I've chosen to add gesso, but you could just use white paint. If you wanted to. A good alternative to gesso, if you're looking for a base color, something that'll let you have a little bit of a base, you might want to try like white chalk paint. It's a drier paint, and it has a dry texture to it that allows you to add color over it. And I've used it in place of gesso a couple of times as a primer. So if you have some of that, that is always a good primer to use. So I'm just getting these all painted up. And then I am going to let them dry, and I'll be back, and we're going to put a couple of coats of paint on each of them. And I think we're going to use a couple of different colors. Because it's kind of, I'm in a funky mood. So I'm going to use a couple of different colors, making it a little different. So I will be back in just a few minutes. All right, so I have a paintbrush, a small palette, some colors, and a paper towel. And I'm going to start by painting my base piece. Let me get these out of the way. And I'm going to paint this black. So I'm just going to put a nice even coat of paint on here. I'm probably going to paint twice, just to make sure that I get it all covered and that there's nothing bleeding through. And since all the other pieces are going to attach to this, I kind of want it to be pretty solid. All right. So now that I have that painted, let's talk about the other ones real quick. So I'm going to work with metal colors. So I have some rose gold. I have some dark rose gold. I have some bronze, some antique copper, and pewter, and a couple of other metal type colors that I want to use on this. So I am going to get some clean water, because you don't want to use the colors with the black, and then I will be back and we'll get started doing all of the other ones in different colors. Okay? All right. So I have a little bit of each color in my palette, and I'm just gonna, again, I'm probably gonna end up doing 2 coats, but I just want to get that base coat on. And in addition to the copper and the rose gold, I also selected some titanium and some gunmetal gray. So I'm just going with like all metal colors. I don't know, I think it would look cute. Now, I don't think anybody's ever said that about metal before. I think it'll be cute. I just think that those colors will give it a more substantial look. So that's what we're going to do. And then, like I said, I'll put 2 coats on. And that way I make sure that I get it all nice and covered. And once I have these all done and they dry, I'll get the second coat on, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how I'm going to put this all together. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get these painted. You paint yours, and I will be back in just a few minutes once these are all dry and they have a second coat, and we will get to assembling this thing. All right? I'll be right back. Alright, so these are all painted and dry. Or my hands are really going to be dirty. So I'm going to get this out of the way real quick. And then I'm going to start with this one. And what I'm going to do is this piece has to go onto this piece. Okay. And we sort of want it in the center. So I'm going to put some hot glue on the bottom here. And then I'm going to find reasonably the center. Okay, that's not too bad. And then I am going to put a little bit of glue down the side of these, and on the bottom. Now, if you have a glue pot, that would be a really good way to use it, is this. And then I'm going to put this together. Just hold it and let it secure. And then I'm going to decide where the next one's going to go. Same thing. Glue down the side. Glue around the bottom. And I'm going to do this all the way around, and then I'll be back and I'll show you how I'm going to finish it. Alright, so once it's done, I can either get a small brush out and, paint the tops, or the easier way of doing it is just to get out a large permanent marker and just color the tops. And it doesn't have to be, perfect. The idea is just to make it look a little cleaner. And again, like I said, now if you want to, you know, go in here with your finger and some glue and some paint, and you want to just paint this the color, by all means you can do that, or use a small paintbrush, however you want to finish it. But I am going to just use a black marker just to go around the tops and just kind of cover up that cardboard. Just to make it look a little neater. And this isn't like I'm giving this away as a gift. This is just a me tool, you know? All right. So now that I have that all done, I can put my daubers in to the slots, making sure they all fit nicely. And any small brushes I have can go in the center or in the side over here, wherever I want to put them. And now they're all right where I need them, and they're not going to fall over. Isn't that fantastic? I love it. Look, even my glue fits in there. Even my big glue. But anyway, that's my little caddy. And I'm just going to put it right up here on my desk so that I can use it. And it is within a hand's reach at all times. Anyway, that's it. That's my project for today. Let's see. Anything else? Nope, that's it. If you're new here and you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that button for me and subscribe. Like me, ring my bell. Share me with all your friends, and then your friends can be my friends, and my friends can be your friends, and our friends can get to be friends. And before you know it, we have a giant crafting community. I go live on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 11, 12, and 1 across the country. 8 o'clock over in Hawaii. I post videos on Mondays and Wednesdays and any other time, really, I feel like it. And let's see, what else have we got going on? In 2022, we have 2 different events going on. One is my free classes of 2022. These are totally free classes at the beginner's level, covering various topics of paper crafting and some other things as well. And the best way to get information about those is when you ring that bell, make sure you select all, and that way you get all the notifications as they are put out. The other thing I have going on is my 12 of 22 journal challenge. That is 12 journals for the year of 2022, all different topics, themes, and styles. If you'd like more information on that, go ahead and click on the link in the description box below, and it'll take you over to a great little slideshow, tell you everything you need to know. Until I see you again, stay well. Bye-bye.